Hello, everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, depends on, I guess, where you are in the world. Thank you for taking the time to join me today so I can hopefully help you with your dating. I'm going to give everyone a minute or two to kind of get settled in. I see a couple requests coming into the Facebook group. I want everyone to be able to stream this pretty well, and then we're going to get started. I appreciate you taking the time out. I don't know where you are, but where I am, it's 12 noon, which means it's lunchtime, which is why I like to call this a lunchtime fun time. And hopefully we'll be able to do a lot more of these this year. We're trying to do a lot more events, and that means in person and on Facebook or YouTube as well. So, with that said, I feel like we should just get this party started. Haha. Okay, so what we're going to talk about today, let me see if I can move my face out of the way. No can do. Apologize for that. We are going to cover things like being intentional in your dating and not just doing things because you've heard that it's the right thing to do. At Date Smarter, we are not about the game. We don't play the dating game. We want you to learn how to be very intentional to get into a relationship that is healthy and long lasting. So, hopefully, today you're going to learn some new dating skills. Maybe even start the process of figuring out what's getting in your way to having success. We're definitely going to jump into ways to meet new people. And hopefully by doing that, we can break through some of the dating struggles you've been experiencing, and you will start having success in your relationships. For those of you who don't know who I am, and this is your first time seeing me ever, hi, my name is Andrea LaRosa. As you can see, I'm certified up the wazoo. I am the founder of Date Smarter and the author of Get the Girl. But what really doesn't make me qualified is all this certification mumbo jumbo. It's the fact that I've been helping people find love for years, and my satisfied clients, such as Stephanie, who was a client maybe 2 or 3 years ago. Well, she's been in a relationship for 2, so just over 2 years ago. She came in as a breakup client, and I helped her get over her breakup, actually helped her break up. And then we moved into coaching for dating and relationship, and now she's in a really healthy relationship with her current boyfriend from the past 2 years. So I'm super excited for her. Or someone like Michael, who came in as a matchmaking client. He was really burned out on the dating apps, which is why I assume a lot of you are probably here today too. The dating apps can cause high burnout, high stress, huge frustrations. That's where he was at. We set him up with some matches, and now he is in the most perfect relationship with his now girlfriend. Some of the services we offer, just in case you aren't aware of who we are as Date Smarter, we offer matchmaking, coaching for breakup, relationship, or date coaching because we find they are all intertwined. We offer some online courses, profile makeovers for your dating app, and local events, and of course, events like today. But enough about me. Let's jump into why you are here. You're here probably because you are starting to experience some struggles with clarity. And I don't mean clarity as far as what you're looking for in a relationship or dating. Sorry. Your dating needs will change and adjust over years. If you started dating in your 20s and you've had a few relationships, or you got married and now you're divorced, we tend to go back to dating the way we did from the first time. So if you got married at age 25, say you're 45, you're now divorced, you naturally will go back to dating the way you did at 25, and it's not successful now at 45. So we have to reevaluate what we want in relationships and what is really important to us. What do we value in our relationships? You might be struggling with your expectations. Maybe they're set a little too high. We can talk about that. A lot of people do that. Expectations and standards are not the same thing, folks. You can have high standards, but watch out for those expectations. You might be meeting people in the wrong places, which we're going to talk about later on. And then you might be experiencing a lack of positivity, confidence, or your self care routine might be a little off or non existent. And these three kind of get bubbled together, mostly because they go hand in hand. You have to feel positive with your dating. I want you to be able to create a dating profile if you're online, or be able to present yourself in a very positive light, which takes confidence, which means you need to do self care. See how that all worked? When your self care routine is pretty solid, you're going to naturally feel positive energy regularly, but you're also going to feel really confident in yourself as well. And these are really important qualities in successful dating to have a successful relationship. So let's jump into how you are currently dating. I'm assuming you're probably using a dating site, or you're trying to meet people organic, or you're not sure which one to do. Do I use the dating apps? Do I meet someone organically? I don't know how to do all these things. Well, I'm going to tell you both. Do both. I know dating sites can lead to high burnout, but if you are using both dating sites and meeting people organically, I guarantee you are going to get in front of so many possible options. When you have clarity on what you are looking for a relationship, what you really truly want, when you are clear on that and you're on the sites and you're meeting people organically, you are going to meet so many people you don't even know what to do with yourself. And that's the whole idea of today, is to be able to meet so many people that you are going on date after date after date after date, and it's fun. I think I forgot to mention that part. Dating should be fun. It shouldn't be stressful. It shouldn't be frustrating. It should be fun. And I really want you guys to get excited about dating again. And yes, we're going to talk about dating sites in a second. And yes, I know that's going to probably twinge a little bit for you, maybe a little chill down your spine or a little twitch. But I promise you, there are ways to navigate the dating sites a little bit better. Okay, before we get too far into which sites you should use, I want to remind everyone there are over 1,500 dating sites worldwide. Yep, I'm going to repeat that. There are 1,500 dating sites for you to choose from worldwide. And yes, some of them are extremely specific, but I want to give you the secret that all dating experts use to find the right dating site for you. When a client comes in and says to their dating expert, whether it's a matchmaker or a coach, they simply say, which site should I use and how many? That's important too. And you know what we do as the expert? I'm going to tell you. We Google it. Yes, we know a lot of the sites, but like I said, there are over 1,500 out there. So what we do is we Google dating sites in your area, because it's going to be extremely different for everyone. If you live in New York City and someone else lives in Los Angeles, you are not going to use the same sites. Or if you are in a small town, if you're somewhere like San Luis Obispo or Santa Barbara, you're in a smaller area, you need to use a different dating site. The sites that I have listed here for you guys are considered the top sites that are being used right now. I snuck Coffee Meets Bagel into this list, even though it's not always a popular one in all areas. It's very specific. It tends to be really popular in cities where it's high tech. So Seattle, San Jose has really good luck with Coffee Meets Bagel. I don't know why. No one can explain this one to you guys. I don't have the answer for it, but I have found with certain clients that Coffee Meets Bagel works really, really nicely in those high tech areas. But for the rest of you, Bumble, Hinge, and Tinder are the top three. Those are the three that I talk about in my Beat the Algorithm course that teaches you how to navigate the algorithm of the dating apps, but also how to put together a perfect profile. Those are the top three that everyone is using. Coffee Meets Bagel, Plenty of Fish, OkCupid, eHarmony, or Match. And I say or because it depends on your area and what you are looking for. I don't suggest signing up for both because they're very detailed in how you create your profile. So those are going to be very time consuming to set up. I would pick one or the other. I included Facebook dating, even though as a dating expert, I don't recommend using it. And this is the reason why I don't. Because I think what happens is your brain goes into this mentality of, okay, I'm on Facebook, social media, but now I'm on Facebook dating, and it's really hard to keep them separate. They are extremely separate things. They are not remotely the same. I do not recommend sliding into someone's DMs unless you are being coached to do it or you are highly experienced in doing it. And the reason is it can come off super duper creepy. So, Facebook dating, I know some people have success, some people don't, but like I said, be careful because sometimes we forget to separate it from regular Facebook and that not everybody on Facebook is single. If they were, I'd be so busy. Okay, now the next part, how to meet someone organically. I know this is what we all have been waiting for. 2 years of a pandemic, and now we're trying to move out and get out and meet people in person and live and have real events. There are ways to meet people organically. So let's talk about a couple of these. Coffee shops is one of my favorite ones. It depends on what type of coffee shop you're going to, where you are. You have to really be mindful of the area you live in. But I live in San Luis Obispo, and we have an absolute plethora of coffee shops. And they're all local coffee shops too, which is super awesome. But I like to sit and work and, sometimes take a client and help them practice flirting. Grocery store. I read an article recently about a grocery store, a high-end supermarket in Los Angeles that singles were purposely going to so that they can meet other single people. I think they called it the Shop and Shag. It was mind-blowing. It was so awesome. I don't suggest the Shop and Shag because it does sound exactly like that, Shop and Shag. If you're looking for a relationship, and we'll talk about it a little bit later on, how to get through the grocery store flirt. Meetup groups. Meetup.com is a great way to meet people, but again, be mindful that not everyone is single. So this is kind of the downfall of trying to meet someone organically is that you don't know if they're single. And if they are single, don't assume just because they're single that they're interested. meetup groups, interest groups, I put them on separately because there's a lot of local interest groups. If you just start looking up on Facebook or in your local newspaper, I love to suggest book clubs for men. Why? Because most book clubs, most, not all, most book clubs are 80 to 90% women. So, guys, this one's for you. If you're looking to date someone, especially if you want to date someone who likes to read, if you like to read and you want somebody who's also into books, join a book club. I guarantee you there are more women there than men. And if the women are married, I guarantee you they want to set up their single friends. I'm not saying flirt with the married lady. I'm saying remember your married friends could be very helpful too because they love to set up other people, especially if they're in a happy marriage. So, networking events, things like business networking events are a good way to just meet people. You're in it for the long haul, remember. So, a lot of this organic method of meeting someone is going to take time. So, yes, dating apps, a lot faster. You can meet someone in 2 seconds. And organic is going to take a little bit longer because you have to put in the time and effort and you have to be able to show up consistently. Just like if you're doing, for example, a hiking group, maybe the hiking group likes to get breakfast or lunch or whatever afterwards. You're going to have to put in the time and get to know people. Again, we don't want to assume anyone is single. So, meeting someone organically is a great way to meet someone, but if all else fails, you can hire a matchmaker. Of course, I had to throw that idea in there. Okay, let's jump into the what. This is what you need to do to be successful. And I'm going to slow down just a tiny bit because I really want all of this what section to sink in. Okay, we talked about dating apps and organic. So let's first start with dating app success. What do you need to do to make sure that you are having success on the dating apps? Because for a lot of you, you are still using the apps. I suggest if you want to have high level of success and you can really commit the time to this, only do it if you can really commit the time. I say pick 2, no more than 3. That's like a full-time job at that point. Pick 2 different dating apps and get on both of them. Try to pick 2 that are different. So maybe one swiping app and maybe something a little bit long formed like Match or eHarmony. I'd watch out for combining Tinder with eHarmony. Those don't really make sense to go together because of the types of people they both attract. So maybe something like Bumble and Match or Hinge and eHarmony. But like I said, first research which apps are doing really well in your area. So just quick little Google search to see like who's using what around me. And then pick 2 and set up a killer profile. So, number 1, you need to have an attractive profile. I don't mean you need to be an attractive person. This is something totally different. I'm not talking about looks by any means. I'm talking about creating an attractive profile, which means you are being authentic and positive. I'm going to say that again. To have an attractive profile means to be authentic and positive. If, for example, you are a funny person and you are always goofy and silly and you like to joke and maybe you're trying to do stand-up, who knows? But you're a really funny person. You need to be able to showcase that in your profile. Be funny in your bio. Show silly pictures. When you complete the prompts, if you're doing a dating app like Bumble or Hinge that has prompts in it, make sure that the prompts are showcasing who you are. Because then that way, you're going to attract someone who appreciates that. If you are trying to be serious and that's just not your personality, you are going to attract people who like serious men or women. But if you are funny in your profile and you're funny in person, then it matches up and you'll be more successful. So that's what we mean when we say have an attractive profile. It doesn't mean looks, it just means showcase your best self. Number 2 is your swiping behavior. And this kind of goes a little bit towards the men. Sorry, guys. I'm not trying to throw you under the bus, I promise. A lot of guys and ladies, I know you've heard this from them as well. You get on an app like Tinder, Bumble, and you start swiping right at everybody. You just swipe right. If it has a pulse, you swipe right. Stop. Stop doing that. Be intentional with your swiping. Be thoughtful with your swiping. Take time and look through the profile and see if it's somebody that you could be attracted to or somebody that you wouldn't mind getting to know on a deeper level. Remember, first dates are not marriages. It's just a first date. It is just a way to meet someone and see if you have chemistry, to see if there's any potential for an intimate relationship. That's all it is. Okay? So be intentional. Look for red flags when you're swiping. Deal breakers, red flags, those are really important. I usually suggest watch out for the negatives. If you notice that someone's profile is stating things constantly like, I don't date X, Y, and Z, or don't bother swiping right if X, Y, and Z. I don't even want to give suggestions. But if they're negative in their profile, then it's very possible that they're going to present a lot of negativity on that date. And I would assume they're probably just feeling really burned out on dating and probably should be taking a break. Because remember, positivity attracts positivity. We don't want somebody bringing you down. Okay. Something to keep in mind is that if you had been for the past however long you've been on an app, say you are on Tinder and you've been on there for 2 months and you've been swiping and swiping and swiping and meeting people and chatting. And then today you realize, oh my goodness, I need to change my profile up. And you change your profile and realize that you'd been attracting all the wrong people, all the red flags. The algorithm is going to continue to pair you up with the red flags because that is your swiping behavior. It's now learned you like red flags. So here's my suggestion. If that's the case for you and you've realized that the algorithm keeps presenting you with more red flags, all the wrong people, get off of the app for a few weeks, try something else, and then go back to it. So in the example of Tinder, you would get off Tinder for a couple of weeks and then come back to Tinder weeks later and start over again. So the algorithm has time to kind of clear because we don't want it to keep giving you red flags and deal breakers. Okay. And then last but not least, number 4, I jumped. Number 3, how you communicate. I can't believe I almost forgot how to communicate. This is like my specialty. The way you communicate on a dating site is not the way you communicate in person. Why, you ask? Oh, let me tell you. Because there's no tone. They've never met you. They've never heard your voice, and they don't know how you speak. So emojis are your best friends. I see emojis coming through in the Facebook users. Thanks for that. Emojis are your best friend. I don't care if you're 15 years old or 50 years old or 150. You need to learn how to use emojis if you are dating online because that will show tone. So remember, when you communicate with someone, they aren't going to hear it the way that you would say it. They've never met you before. So be super mindful in how you communicate on a dating app and what you say. which brings me to number 4, getting off the app. That's why that's so important. You want to meet in person as soon as possible. And I don't want to ever suggest that someone meets someone in person if you're not really comfortable with it. I want you to be safe and I want you to feel comfortable. Getting off the app could be a phone call, it could be a video chat. A lot of these apps now allow you to video chat directly in the app, so you don't even have to give them your real number. I have a client who uses a Google phone number because she doesn't want to give out her real phone number. You could do something like that, although it's presented to be challenging for her. But I do think it makes her feel more comfortable with giving out a phone number if it's a Google number because it's not traceable. However, the point is, I suggest 2 conversations on the app, and then someone needs to suggest getting off of the app. And I don't mean get off the app and start texting each other. That's not what I mean. Meeting. Meeting can be, again, over the phone, a phone call, a video chat, or in person in a safe space that you're comfortable during the day, a coffee shop or somewhere that's busy. Okay. So, like I said, getting off the app is going to be key for this. Okay. When we talk about organic, I want to give you an example, and I love this example. I kind of just told you guys that story about the grocery store in LA that does this. I think it's a matchmaker that does this. It's mind blowing, but I hear so many people talk about how this is their dream. I want to meet someone in a grocery store, just naturally while I'm shopping in Trader Joe's or whatever grocery store you're in. Guess what? There is a way to do this successfully. It's going to take a lot of practice. Don't get me wrong. But I promise, once you get enough practice, it's going to work. And yes, someone did just ask if I'm going to save this. I will save this. This will be in the group later. I know a lot of you are on your lunch hour, so feel free to pop in and out if you need to. Okay, the grocery store flirt. I love this one. This is how you do it. Eye contact. Eye contact one time is accidental. That is not eye contact. We are talking prolonged eye contact. Eye contact that's twice, 3 times, 4 times, that's intentional. That's flirting. Ooh, so we got the eye contact flirt going. Again, 1 time is accidental. 2, 3, 4 times is intentional. How do you know they're really flirting with you and not just staring you down? Number 2, the smile. If you want to take your flirting to the next level, you need to include a smile with this eye contact. Prolong eye contact and a smile anywhere you are, whether it's a grocery store, whether you're at a networking event, whether you're in a coffee shop. This is real flirting. Number 3, make your presence known. They need to know that you are there, that you are interested. I don't mean go stalking them down each aisle. Don't go following them from the produce into the dairy, into the meats. Don't stalk them. But they need to know that you're there. And then number 4, you need to talk to them. I know this is the scary part for a lot of people. Now you have to actually figure out a way to engage in conversation with them. A really good way to do it is, and yes, these are cliche, but ask an opinion about an item, a product, something that they have in their cart. If you're passing by them in an aisle, you can look down in the cart real quick and ask, "Oh my goodness, I was thinking about buying that too, but I wasn't sure if it was any good," whatever item it is. "What do you think?" And then you can have a little conversation. Take note of whatever the conversation is. If they seem like they're in a hurry and they're trying to get away from you, then you need to go back up and think about, how was your eye contact? How was your smile? And was your presence known? Because the key to this is you have to have all 5 in place for this to really work. If you do not have mutual eye contact, prolonged eye contact, and mutual smiling, and they're not making their presence known, they're probably not interested. So remember, this isn't just about what you're doing, but it's also you being able to see what they're giving back. Are they giving eye contact? Are they smiling back? Is this a mutual flirt? So, like I said, you need to talk to them. I know for some of us ladies, we like to ask people to help with items that are on the top shelf. Okay, guys, just to make this clear, if she asks for you to reach something on the top shelf, she's not flirting with you if you haven't done 1 through 3 already. If you're just randomly in a supermarket and somebody asks you to reach something, that's not a flirt. Again, you have to have all of these things in place for this to be a flirt, right? And then last but certainly not least, you need to do the ask, because it's not just enough to do these things, but somebody, he or she, doesn't matter who, somebody needs to do the ask. And this can be tough. You can do a couple different things. You can ask for a future date. You can ask for an immediate date. I personally love the immediate date. I think this is a really great way to get to know someone on the spot and they don't forget about you, right? So I would suggest, depending on the grocery store you're in, if you're in a grocery store or supermarket that's like Whole Foods or something, where they have a smoothie bar or they have a coffee bar, that's even better, because then you can suggest, hey, would you be interested in getting a smoothie with me after we check out? For one, it's cheap. If you're going to pick up the tab, it's not very expensive. Two, it's a micro date. A micro date is anything that's 20, 30 minutes long, no more than 30 minutes. You guys both have groceries. You can't really stay for more than 20 or 30 minutes anyways. So it's a nice way to get to know somebody, to see if there's any interest. And if you both like each other after this smoothie date, then you can go out on dinner dates or drinks or whatever you want to do. But it's a really nice way to just quickly get to know someone and see if there's any kind of connection. If they say, I would love to, but I can't, this is your opportunity to offer your phone number. Don't ask for theirs, offer yours. Don't put them on the spot. You're the one who's really doing the flirting here. You're the one who's pursuing them. And if they call or text, great. If they don't, oh well, next. It's just like swiping on a dating app, except this is in person. So I hope that was really clear. But remember, you cannot skip steps in this or you're going to come off as super creepy. Okay, you got to have these flirting steps in place. We do not want you to be creepy. We've gone over a lot of tips on dating apps and organic and how to meet someone and how to flirt, but they mean nothing if you don't know how to have a successful relationship. You can master the art of dating. You'd become a serial dater, but you can easily take all of these tips I just gave you and become a master at dating. But it makes no difference if you don't know how to have a successful relationship. I'm assuming most of you here watching this are interested in having a successful relationship. In order to get there, obviously you have to date. And so we are going to, help you get there. But I want you to be able to also realize what goes into the relationship. So these are my 5 keys to a successful relationship. I apologize. I can't seem to get my face out of this corner and it moved over. I don't know why it's not moving. Yeah, sorry guys. And I can pop up this list too if you can't see it, but I'll go over it first. Okay. Number 1, mutual attraction. Mutual attraction. That's the key word, is mutual. You cannot have a successful relationship if you are attracted to them and they are not attracted to you. And the reason why I say this is because attraction is going to be extremely important to intimacy. When you look at the difference between a friendship and a relationship, it's intimacy. And attraction plays a huge part in the intimacy. So you need to have mutual attraction. Does attraction grow over time? It sure does. Have you ever dated someone? Think back of all the years that you might have been dating, and you've dated someone, and when you first met them, you thought, you're not really my type. Can we just be friends? And then over time, they keep doing things in your friendship that you realize, damn, that's attractive. And all of a sudden now you're thinking, oh my gosh, I'm attracted to this person. What just happened? Because our behavior makes us more or less attractive. And on the flip side, I'm sure you've met someone who's absolutely drop dead gorgeous, but either she's a real bitch or he's a real douchebag, and you thought, ugh, was I attracted to you at one point? Did I think you were cute? So, mutual attraction, number one. Number two is shared consent or respect. You need to make sure that you share in the respect of the relationship and you are both consenting to the relationship. Number three is compatible lifestyles. This does not mean you have to have compatibility when it comes to your interests. That is not at all what I'm saying. You do not have to have common interests. And I see this as a huge mistake when people go on first dates is they sit down and they immediately dive into the, do we have anything in common? I like to bike. Do you like to bike? I like to hike. Do you like to hike? I like to draw. Do you like to draw? Oh my God. No, that is absolutely not what I'm saying. And total apologies, sidebar, if you can hear that the gardeners are here out of all the days and all the times, this is when they came. So my apologies if you can hear it. If you can't, cool. Anyways, compatible lifestyles are bigger than just common interests because it's not what we have in common that makes our relationship special. It's how we handle the differences that makes it really great. And if you look at really successful relationships, whether it's friends, family, I would say celebrities, but I don't know if they really have showcased successful relationships. I mean, I think they keep them pretty private, rightfully so. But think of the relationships in your community or in your life that you have seen and they're super successful. Do they always have things in common? I'll give you an example of a friend of mine. Her and her husband first met, and they didn't have a whole lot in common. There's an age gap. Um, they had different friend groups. And so there just wasn't a lot for them to really kind of connect with. But eventually, they started to date and created interests for both of them. They became interested in things together. They explored new hobbies, new activities. They had new adventures that neither one of them had separately and did them together. And now that is their thing. That's their staple thing. So, a compatible lifestyle doesn't mean having things in common necessarily. It just simply means that your lifestyles line up to some degree. For example, if you are a morning person and your partner is a night owl, that's going to be a challenge. I'm not saying you can't have a relationship, but it's going to be a challenge you will have to overcome. If you are someone who doesn't like to travel and you meet someone who loves to travel, again, that's a lifestyle choice. It's going to be a challenge in your relationship. It is not a deal breaker necessarily. It just means you have to communicate through it. But it is going to be a challenge, which is why I say compatible lifestyles, not exact, just compatible. Number 4, actually underneath my head there, says shared goals. I'm talking about life goals, such as I want to get married or I don't want to get married. I want to have children. I don't want to have children. those are two of probably the biggest ones. But financial goals is really important as well. If you are somebody who wants to be able to retire by the age of 55 and you don't want to wait till 65, that's a goal that you have. And if your partner says, well, I don't really care if I work till 70, that's going to be a challenge for you guys, because that means that you're going to have this awareness of finances that they may not have. And it may create a constant fight in your relationship. So make sure you are sharing these big long-term goals. And then the last one, which I apologize again, is covered up by my face, is shared effort. You need to put in equal effort. And I don't mean all of the time, because there are going to be moments in a relationship where one person puts in more effort than the other person. But think of it kind of like a little teepee, or I don't know, a triangle, right? That's dependent. If you ever put like two playing cards, have you ever done this as a kid and stacked up two cards against each other? If you do it just right, they stay. But if one pushes a little too far, it collapses, crumbles, right? A relationship can do the exact same thing. So it's really important that you both are sharing in the responsibility of effort, learning each other's love languages, making sure that your partner is feeling heard. I tell my clients that if your number one goal in a relationship is to give, and your partner's number one goal in the relationship is to give, I guarantee you, you're going to have success. Because if we keep giving to a relationship with someone who just takes, no success. But if both partners are continuously giving to each other, you're going to create a really solid foundation for a long-term relationship. So I hope that was really helpful to understand this process. And I'm just going to kind of quickly recap what we went through. Understanding how you're going to meet someone, dating apps, in person, but then also really getting clarity on what a successful relationship looks like to you. That's going to be really, really important. Okay, I'm going to open it up to some Q&A. I got a couple of questions earlier. I'm just going to scroll back up and take a peek at them. Let me see. I also have it on the other computer. And yes, to answer someone's question, DMing me the questions is fine. You don't have to put it in. It's absolutely okay if you just want to DM me your question, which a couple of people did. Let's see. What if I'm too shy to meet someone in real life? Oh, that's legit. That's absolutely legit. If you are the type of person that you feel that there's no way I can meet someone in real life, I'm feeling really, really shy. Well, I'm going to give you a little plug here. The Date with Purpose course that I created will answer all of these questions for you. I'm going to try and answer it really, really, really quickly in like 30 seconds. But my Date with Purpose program paired with the coaching will help you get out of your comfort zone so that you're not feeling so shy. It's practice. I mean, in a word, if you are a very shy person, practice. Just keep practicing. And you can start really small by just practicing talking to people. So I would say go to a meetup event, find some local events, try and force yourself to go to one event or one activity in person per week. It might take some finagling to figure out where and what you're going to do if you're in a small town, because there might not be a lot of in-person events. But try to get yourself in person at some kind of activity once a week and just start talking to people. Tell yourself, today I'm going to talk to one new person. And then next time, I'm going to talk to two new people. And then next time, I'm going to talk to three new people. And just get yourself really comfortable with just talking to people. You have to start small. You can't just jump right into the grocery store flirt, right? If you are really this shy and really uncomfortable, take your time, ease into it. Don't just go from 0 to 60 or whatever. So ease into it, start going to in-person events and just start talking to people and get really comfortable with being authentic, being yourself, having conversation, being social. Don't forget eye contact. It's super important. And then eventually, when you get really comfortable with talking to people, then you can start doing things like the grocery store flirt or the coffee shop flirt, which would be really, really similar, actually. And then you can start asking people out. Then you can do the ask. Let's see. Another question. What if I'm burned out on dating apps? Who isn't, right? We are all burned out on dating apps. Um, if you are burned out on dating apps, you need to take a break. It's okay to get off of the apps for a bit and just breathe. But then do the organic. Start meeting people in person. Then get back on the dating apps again. If you want, like I said earlier, if you want to get in front of as many people as possible, doing both the dating sites and the organic meets, both of them together is going to get you in front of tons of people. If your city has local singles events or speed dating events or anything like that, start going to those. Those are a fabulous way to meet people. I host the ones here locally in San Luis Obispo. Um, and eventually, I think we're going to start opening up to some other cities probably after this year. But find a local event and go to it. I promise you, everyone else is feeling the same pressure you're feeling. So if you're burned out on dating apps, take a little break. It's okay to take a break because remember, you need to be positive, and it's going to be really hard to be positive when you're frustrated. Let's see. Next question. For the grocery store example, what if I'm really shy? Got a lot of shy people today. How do I get from number 4 to number 5? Oh, okay. So let me take you back to this so that we can take a peek at number 4 and 5. Number 4 was to talk to them. Okay, so if you are comfortable enough talking to them, I'm assuming this is what you mean. Please correct me if I'm wrong. You're comfortable enough to just talk to them, maybe ask them about the product or ask for help or whatever it is. But going from the talking to the ask is tricky. It is tricky and it is very uncomfortable. I would say it's okay to kind of call yourself out and to even say something along the lines of, this is really awkward, but I was just wondering if you would be interested in grabbing a smoothie with me after we check out. Or this might seem a little strange, and feel free to say no, but did you maybe want to get a coffee after we check out? Chat some more? Okay. So see, there's different ways to do the ask. But again, did you notice how I preface it with, well, this might be a little awkward or this might be a little strange. Please don't be cliche and say, I never do this, because nobody ever believes that. Even if you never do, nobody believes it. So don't start with, I never do this, but don't do that. It's been used as a line, as a pickup line for way too long. So just be really authentic and be really honest of, I know this is a little strange or a little awkward. Yes, there's a real possibility that somebody was flirting with you that is in a relationship. If they're married, please look for the ring as well. Like, I'm saying, like, women especially like to wear rings, and I know a lot of men who don't wear wedding rings, but I mean, look for the clues as well. But yes, so maybe they were flirting with you and then they tell you like, "Oh, I'm so sorry. I'm with someone." You shot your chance, right? Don't bow out, don't put your head down, like, be confident. It takes a lot of guts to go up to a stranger in a grocery store or coffee shop or whatever and to flirt and to ask them out. So be proud of yourself for being able to do the ask. Even if they say no, even if they say they're in a relationship or they're not interested or whatever it is, it doesn't matter. Be damn proud of yourself for making that step. It's a really hard step to take. It takes a lot of practice. It takes a lot of confidence. So just be proud of yourself for trying. And if you get rejected, it's okay. We all get rejected. We all fail at things. We just get back up and we keep trying. I know a lot of dating experts out there like to compare dating to a baby trying to learn to walk, right? I've heard this analogy so many times, but it's so freaking accurate. Think about when a baby tries to walk. They get up, they fall down. We don't look at that baby and say, well, you tried. Might as well just stay down. Try crawling instead. We don't do that. So why would you do that when you're learning something as an adult? This is a new skill for you. You are learning how to come out of your comfort zone, think outside the box, and meet someone organically. You're going to fall. You may trip and skin your knee. You might fall on your butt 20 million times, but eventually you're going to walk. And it's the same thing. All new skills are learned and they take practice. So don't be hard on yourself. If it's not successful, it's okay. Get up, try again. And always feel free to reach out if you have any questions. You guys are all in the Date Smarter Singles group. Please feel free to pop questions in there. I would love to help you navigate it. Remember to have chats with each other. Even if you're not interested in dating someone in the group, it's okay. It's a safe space to just talk about your dating experiences. Feel free to share any of your own online experiences. I would love to hear them. I think we're going to try and do this on a regular basis. So if there's any topics that you would like to have us focus on, I would love to do that. I don't see any more questions, so I think we're good. I think we're cool to end a little early today. I appreciate you being here with me, and I will see you guys in the Facebook group later on. Have a great day, and I appreciate you so very, very much. Bye, guys.